Right, it's about to get wild in here, you guys. Thanks for joining me as you do, as usual. My name is Liz, and this is Liz Talks. This week, I thought of inviting a legend in our studios here. He's here to grace our sets as we delve deep into his life and get up close and personal. This actor has been on the screen since 2001, if I'm not mistaken, and today he's here. So for us to have a chit chat and get to know more about him and what he's been up to all this while. And now this actor carries so much grace with him, and I am super, super elated to have him here so I can also tap into his grace as well. I am really excited to have him here. It's an honor to me. Before I introduce my guest for this week, stay with me, stick and stay, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after this. And I have with me in the studio James Ikechukwu Esomuga.
Thank you for having me.
Jim Iyke.
Yes.
It's great to have you here. Thanks for making it possible. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Right.
me.
Let's go to your background. A little bit about your background.
Okay.
Your name is James
Yes.
online, but you're Jim. Jim Iyke. Yes. So take us through that.
A lot of people have often wondered why I chose. Basically, my names are James Joseph Ikechukwu Esomuga.
So what?
Esomuga. Even Igbos don't get it right because
Okay.
here's the twist. It's a lot of people assume is a Delta name. There's a big family, probably bigger than mine, that's called Asomuga, but mine is Esomuga. Comes with the E. Esomuga. That's right.
Okay.
So that is. I thought early on. Basically, I think owing to the lack of support I got from my family, they didn't want to identify with me because my family are full of businessmen, erudites, traders. They thought being an actor is such a disappointment to them.
Ooh.
Yes, because they disowned me pretty much.
Disowned?
Oh yeah. My dad asked me to leave the house. When I refused to do my master's, my dad said I was going to throw my life away. I should leave the house and lose the last name.
Because psychology, banking and finance, and I'm wondering why acting?
So that was what happened. I wasn't allowed to use my last name at some point. So basically what I did essentially was take the first and the second name. But by error and omission, it turned out to be the best course of action I've taken because I was able to I didn't foresee perhaps how big I was going to become. So at the end of the day, it worked out that was also a way I used to protect them from the public light. I've found ways to learn about things in life that classically has to be taught to other people. And I think that's how he sort of raised me. We moved, I moved with him to everywhere I was going, while the majority of the family stayed in Gabon, in Libreville. And that's where my mom established most of her business prowess. She owned a number of entities there. And it was important that we had some semblance of family in there. So from Leon, we spent about 7 years. And then when Speedbat came to build the Usman Dam, that's a dam in Abuja called Usman Dam, they needed somebody that was bilingual that will handle the project. So naturally, my dad got the job. Yeah, so they moved us back to Nigeria at that time. And from then on, obviously, he became a private contractor and then left the company, and then we'll continue on from there.
That's good. So that means you can speak French as well.
My French is appalling, but
after staying 7 years in Lyon.
Yeah, well, even in Libreville, they speak French. My French was very good when we came back, but I left home early and joined the dudes out there. Women find it easier to, embrace these cultures and languages. Men
have
evolve
difficulty.
Quickly. Yeah, so my third home is in Paris now. My second son lives in Paris. I'm in Paris about 6 months a year, and even in the pandemic, I was caught in Paris for 6 months. So I'm in Paris about 6 times a year, and I own a little place in the suburbs. So yes, whenever I'm in Paris, I don't know, somehow I brush up my French. And of course, my son speaks 4 languages right now, and we always work on our French constantly.
That's great.
Yeah.
And finding yourself amongst women, your
Mm.
family,
Mm.
you were just the one male in
With
there.
6 sisters, yes.
6. So how does it make you feel? Did they affect you in a way, or did it make you have this soft spot for women in general?
It's a good question. A lot of, there are two ways being an only son affects you. It can make you extremely soft, or it can make you extremely hard. I think the latter category happened to me because I was getting beaten up almost every other week. It became a
By
culture.
them.
Yeah. So I didn't want to be friends with guys, obviously.
Why?
Because there was only one intention when you come to my house. So I started hanging out with guys when I was probably about 13, 14. But before then, I couldn't hang out with guys because I knew the intention. They tried to be friends with me. They only walk into my house to chase my sisters. You understand? So I had two aunties, my sisters. I had my grandmother. I had my mom, and I had some lady that was taking care of us then. So it became quite an issue. My distrust for guys ran very deep. Every time they came there and pretended to be friends with
You were
me,
just
in 2 days
protecting them all the
they
way.
started chasing my sister. So there was a standing law there: don't come near that house. So I think that became the problem. I had to find ways to cultivate relationships with guys. But it was a very unique house. I think the guys were so angry with me, they made a point of every time they would find my sister's troubles and I have to go out there and fight for them. And they would gather and beat the crap out of me. And then after a while, my dad just decided, okay, I was getting beaten up every other week and decided enough is enough. His boss spoke to him and said, you need to train him. If you don't train him, they're probably going to hurt him. Yeah. I think that's how the martial arts started.
And did that ignite your sense of fashion, being with women? Do you think
it helped somewhat, but you know what? It didn't.
No.
Because every time they were downstairs discussing handbags, their husbands, or their boyfriends, and I hated that. So I didn't have anything to.
Really?
I became a loner. That's why I'm so comfortable being by myself. TV was my vent. Books became my escape. I love reading. I still love reading. I read about 2 books a month at the minimum. So I think there was a certain comfort with being by myself that I found with being in my family. It was like being amongst people, but yet being lonesome. So a lot of people are not comfortable being alone.
Exactly.
Yeah, early in my life, I found great comfort in being by myself. So
has it affected you in a way, or you just like it perfectly the way you are?
I like it because there's a gene transfer, even if you will. My sons are like that. I take them to the park. They don't want to play with the other kids. He sets up shop by himself. He's very much like me, scary. He sets up shop by himself. He's fiercely loyal. He just wants to play by himself. When he has time, when he's ready. Sometimes I throw the ball to the other kids.
For him to go.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go.
He does.
I'm tired of forcing him. At first, I was wondering about it. Then I spoke to my dad about it. My dad said, he's even reasonable. You don't even want to come out. We have to, do you know how many times we have to beat you to leave the house? It's like they literally have to drag me out. So I think, I don't know, there's a gene transfer there. There's a certain, cultural and personal, thing
passed on to him.
Yeah, passed on in his own way. But I've learned how to, walk it to my own end, for lack of a better term. And it makes him a very, for lack of a better term, again, very dangerous learner. He can absorb things in such a short period of time. It's astounding. And I think I should allow it to evolve and see where it's going.
That's great. Since 2001, you came into the acting scene.
Come and go. I've left 4 times today.
4 times?
Yeah, I've taken high.
So tell us some of the challenges you faced, into rising to fame, because it's not easy. Fame is not, gotten in a day. Tell us some of the challenges you faced.
I think the greatest challenge was staying authentic to myself.
Okay.
And being able to tell my truth in whatever circumstances I find myself. I probably have less than 6 friends in all my life, or 7. as the time will go. If I had that big head behind the camera, but be that as it may, it has told me unequivocally who I am. I stopped searching a long time ago. Sometimes I see men in their 40s, 50s, 60s still on that path of self-discovery, and it astounds me because it's also a struggle and inner conflict to embrace who you are. Who you are won't always please people.
Exactly.
It's not meant for everybody. It is when you work all your life in being liked or being a part of a certain political correctness that puts you at odds with who you really are. All my life, I've always vetted a certain and coveted a certain, ideology, and that is to first of all be comfortable who I am.
Exactly.
In so doing, I'll be comfortable who comes into my space. Whoever comes into my space will see 100%. It's not, I don't know how to do the cloak and dagger philosophy of the industry. I don't know how to walk the gray areas. My life is in black and white. It's either I like you or I don't.
Or you don't.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Staying authentic to who I am has made it so easy to navigate the murky waters of entertainment, which is hard. I've seen really great guys start this industry. Amazing guys, smart people, not compromising. They come from families. They don't have to be rich. They just understand their path in life. And later they begin to compromise in order to fit in. They begin to fit into a caste system, if you will, a clique system in order to survive. What I will say, and I'll continue to say, is that that lane that you're rushing to be part of is clogged with so many people that all look the same. And that is what today's world is creating everybody to be. It's almost like a clone of everybody back to back. And it is so much traffic in there. It's almost like Lagos marina traffic. You can't see left or right because you're so fixated on getting ahead and being part of it. And you will get ahead, but you can only go so far. The path you should belong to is your path. Your path is traffic free. Only you travel on that lane. And anybody that wants to see you doesn't have to see many people, they see only you.
Just you.
I think by and large, that's been my founding philosophy and how I've carried on over the years.
Loyalty is like a thing for you. Anywhere you go, I have, monitored some interviews that you've been, and you did mention of loyalty. Apart from that, what is that one thing that helps you to keep you going?
My instincts. I've built my instincts through pain. I've built my instincts through disappointments. I've built my instincts through failures. I've built my instincts through trials and errors. I've built my instincts with longevity. I've built my instincts with resources. A lot of people spend resources trying to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
I spend resources not to be seen. And that has been my greatest weapon. So every time I come out to be seen, people see something. People hear something new. What I was seeing 5 years ago is different from what I'm seeing now. How I think 5 years ago is different from how I think now. What I do 5 years ago is different from what I do now. Because people notice. Every time I do something last, I give it time. The next time we're having this interview is probably going to be 2 years or 3 years. It's true. I give you people time to absorb what I came with the last time. So that when I come the next time, there's rejuvenation, if you will. Something new. A whole different me. And that is the mark a lot of people are missing. It's become my founding principle. And the other thing that guides it is, again, my instincts. My instincts, it's like outstaying your welcome. When you go to someone's house, because this is what it is. They're strangers that have adopted you.
Yeah.
That's what your fans are. Exactly. They don't know you personally. They just love you.
They just love you.
And implicitly, with no reason. You can't outstay your welcome every time. Once you outstay your welcome, it becomes, that's him.
It becomes normal.
Okay, there's no mystery anymore. So maintain a certain mystery. Develop your instincts to a point where I can tell a fake person 10 miles away. I don't even have to. I just hear you on the phone.
They're so sharp like that.
It's become a thing in my house where before my sisters dating back in the day, they tell me, hey, talk to my boyfriend. I just hear him. And when I'm in the country where they are, I say, hey, come, let's go hang out. No matter how you pretend,
you will know.
And then, I mean, my mom and I used to share this gift where she would come and say, I'm about to do something, get into a business or whatever. I tell her, give me a week. I think about it. I run about it. She knows my instinct is so on point. When I call her and say, don't do it, sometimes she will go and do it.
And then to see what happens.
Something will go wrong. Something will go wrong.
She just wants to try.
Absolutely. There was a housekeeper, I'll give you a quick analogy, that was brought in that time. My mom moved to Manchester. So she started this daycare center because my nieces, she was taking care of them. And then there was an Indian family around the premises that used to come drop off their kids too with my mom. And after a while, she said, you know what? I want to start a daycare center. And we started. One of the ladies that became one of the nannies, the day I went to visit, which was a year after, it became really successful. They were probably handling about 80-something kids. I met her. She was the one I met in the school the day I went because my mom wasn't around. They went to pick up some kid. And I spent some time with her. When I came back, I told her, let this lady go. Something is not right.
How does it feel? Is it a hinge? Or you hear a voice? How do you...
It doesn't, is a very ominous thing.
I just want to,
Sometimes the hair at the back of my neck stands still. I can't tell why. It's usually charming, impressive, well-educated.
Is it a female voice or a male voice?
It does. I said the hair.
Oh, okay.
At the back of my neck stand up. Sometimes I'm just cold. Sometimes I have goosebumps.
Just like that.
Every one of us has this instinct.
Yeah.
Some developed it, some don't. I'll give you an example. Has something ever gone wrong in your life and you tell yourself, oh, I knew that I shouldn't have done this?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That premonition is the instinct you must develop. Something gave you all the signs when you met that guy that fucked up. Forgive my French. He gave you all the signs when you entered that business that didn't work.
Exactly.
Or that person you trusted. Or that journey you took that didn't work. He gave you all the signs, but you're not used to the signs, so you ignored it.
Exactly.
Now, imagine if you begin to develop and understand the signs. Every time you sit down, I can walk into a room, I can tell every one of these gentlemen who doesn't like me and who does. Simply.
By
energy.
By just looking.
By energy. It's not, I don't have to see their faces. It's the
feel.
Energy. I feel the energy. So it's like a conduit of sorts. The more you think about it, the more you can sit still. Because every time people are in the middle of noise, you have to find spaces, serene spaces where there's no noise, and sit down there. Sometimes I shut down the light in my entire house. I sit in the dark for 2 hours.
Total darkness.
Yes. You will be shocked what you hear. You hear your heartbeat. You hear the slightest pin that drops in your house. And then something will begin to happen the more you practice it. You begin to understand that, maybe an occurrence, the last thing that happened in your life that day will give you joy. Many times I'm going for a business deal, I sit down, and in the middle of it, I say, I'm not doing anymore.
Just like that.
Just like that. My people, my circle understand it. They move immediately. Once I get up, they move. Whoever is involved in that circle end up messing it up. 2 years ago, I lost a lot of money just because I didn't listen.
Wow.
My brother-in-law brought business. I let my emotion take the better part of me. Every time I let my emotion get ahead of me doing something mediocre happens.
Yes. But you don't seem emotional.
No,
Not at all.
I'm totally fixated on the narrative. I'm a proponent of logicality. No matter how much I like someone, if some things are not right, it's not sitting right, I will not do it. Every time I do things out of emotions or sentiment or because I like somebody, it goes wrongly. So my order of business is get your act right. Once you get your act right, I'll give you 200% of me.
Once you get your act right, you're going to give 200%.
Absolutely.
That is from Jim himself. Let's go take a quick breather. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Right. Thanks for staying and welcome back. Jim, let's go to your movie Bad Comments. What really inspired Bad Comment?
I wanted a common denominator.
Okay.
I felt I was at a realm in my life and my career where I can't sound like everyone else.
Okay.
If you watch, there's been a bandwagon of sorts. Everybody will readily tell you that that's not what you're doing, but there's a bandwagon nonetheless. Everybody is trying to do the slapstick comedy because they think everybody in Nigeria is depressed. And the only thing that will shift them to the cinemas as consumers is humor.
Comedy.
So they get you to laugh, tell a watery story in between it, and the treatment somewhat. Some of them have come out with really fantastic stories, but again, it's a bandwagon. The narrative is the same. The pointers are all in one direction. It's a parallel right now. I didn't want that. Again, we reiterate about coming out only when you have something to say. I didn't want a frame of reference that will indicate that it's a Hollywood, Bollywood, or Nollywood film. I just wanted something entirely different, a universally viable film where people, that transcends age, creed, religion, political affiliation or religious affiliation, whatever. Just any movie, an Asian guy, an European guy, an African, or an American can walk into a movie theater, see it, and say that is a damn good film. And I felt that's kind of responsibility I owed my fans and people to put out right now. I also wanted a film that would serve not just as an entertainment value, but there has to be an advocacy behind it. Where I found that common denominator was in the internet social media ecosystem. We all coexist there. Yeah. Okay, that is the common denominator, whether you're black, white, brown, pink, you have used this medium one way or the other. I had to consecrate my story around it. And I had to tell this through the prism of the one that's considered the anti-hero, which is the celebrity. They're the ones that people think have had an easy right to the easy life. I wanted this to be told so that people can understand the ominous nature of the backstory. What happens? That celebrity, that mentor you're looking up to, that super rich guy you're looking up to, you don't know the background. Yeah. You don't know what they're going through. If you understand what they're going through, you will thank your stars for the life you live. I also wanted to shine a certain light on the perpetrators of the heinous crimes in there, namely the backstabbers, the internet trolls, and the cyber bullies. So this was a chronicle of every actor in that space. That's what bad comment is all about. It is you, it is I, it is the victim, it is the troll, it is the attacker, it is everybody in there. Do you know that the ages of 15 to 19 are most susceptible to suicide? And of that suicide rate, 77% of them are prevalent in the mid to low income earners, the low income societies. That is namely us. Yeah. So if the statistics is not out there, then they're sweeping a lot under the carpet. When you come out and say you have mental problems, people think there's something wrong with you. People think there's someone chasing you from your village, or your uncle is after you, or or you have generational curse.
Spiritual stuff.
No, spiritual stuff. But it's a serious narrative that's been swept under the rug because everybody's so fixated on planet changes, so fixated on alternative energy and economics and oil and gas and all whatnot. But the most important demographic for the future are between the ages of 15 and 19. So who are you preparing the future for? If 77% of your population are in jeopardy mentally, that is the question.
We're doomed.
Who are you preparing it for? So it's a narrative that's potent, that's well overdue, that should be held at the highest realm. I'm glad some people are beginning to take notice. Recently, the governor of Lagos invited me over for a sit down, and they've adopted bad comments as the content of choice to advocate against mental health and cyberbullying. We're about to launch that in about 3 weeks.
That's a great initiative.
Yes, absolutely. and it's in conjunction with the SDGL, which is the special directorate for all that. And the governor of Kogi hosted us in Abuja. He happens to be a close friend as well, and they're buying into it. I just felt this is the kind of film I should be doing at this point.
Exactly.
I can't be making a film that will get people to go laugh and forget it the next day. I'm trying to make a film that will force conversation, that will bring the right players to the table, and push people at the helm of affairs to begin to understand: is it time we regulate these platforms? They call it freedom of speech, but I don't think so. Not when it's become culturally cool to project hatred and cruelty.
It's become the order of the day.
And everybody just trying to buy into it as it seems. So that is what Bad Comment is about. It's the kind of movie I think I should be making. When all the pundits got together in Nigeria and said this is the best film of the year, this is the best film from that platform, it was deliberate, it was intentional. It took me 3 months to create this film. It took me crossing budgets 5 times.
Oh.
It took me assembling some of the best minds from different
But was it
devices.
based on a true story?
It is the story of Liz. It is the story of Jim. It's the story of everybody. I'm sure you've been bullied on social media before.
No, I haven't.
You've never been bullied on social media? No, but you don't live on Earth.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't do that. I
don't do social media?
To put myself into their shoes. Take a walk in their shoes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So I wouldn't.
How do you take a walk in their shoes? This is interesting.
You just have
so you're justifying cyberbullying?
I'm not justifying. Those people don't really put themselves in their shoes.
Okay, please tell me how it is evidently cool to be in the shoes of a cyberbully.
Not a cyberbully. Those that bully them.
Those that the victims.
Yes.
But that's what we're saying. This is us trying to amplify the voices of the people that have been bullied by saying that there's a certain tragedy that's visited on the youthful sector, the youthful demographic of our societies, and nobody's talking about it because they're fixated on the alternatives. Anything that has to do with commerce and economics hold the sway of the day. But what we're trying to say is that mental health is a problem, is in jeopardy amongst our youth, and if it's not curbed in time, it will affect the future.
It's turning into a canker already.
So I think that is basically what Bad Comment is about, and I'm happy that powerful people are beginning to take notice and invite us to talk about it.
Yeah, and you have the likes of Iniedo, AY, I mean top notch musicians and actresses and actors on that movie. How did you do that? Was it stressful?
How did I do that?
How did you get all of them on board?
I'm Jim Iyke.
I know you are.
So what's the question for?
Exactly. Because they are top notch.
No, they're not top notch.
In it.
To you.
Just like yourself.
No, baby, I'm Jim Iyke. That's next question.
Right. Let's move on though. That feisty side of you.
But it's funny though.
Yes, it is.
Let me tell you why it's funny. I've spent about a decade and a half of my life in this industry. I've probably won every award there is, worked with everybody there is. There's never anything like this that's been designed or produced.
Yes.
And so the whole Jim Iyke thing is just a lighter mood. But,
I know, right?
But the truth of it is that I've never asked anybody of anything. It makes people uncomfortable. So that's what I'm trying to say, that I've given my life to the service of not only myself but others. You know how many times any of these guys have called me and said, hey, I have this film, pull up. I could have asked for stakes. I could have asked for backends. I don't. I'll just say, what do you have? You say, yes. Okay, it's not about money. Pay? No, my management will shout out now. Is that no? We deserve more. I said, listen, take half. You guys go enjoy. I'm building a bridge.
Okay.
I'll shoot. Ini will call. Oh, hi. I have this opening. Da 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 da. I've been in many business circles where they discuss using somebody. I'll say no. If you want me involved, use Ini.
Wow.
And they will give her the business. You say, bro, thank you. I said, thank you. What can I do? Nothing. I don't want anything. And another person I'll call, and you know, I've been to a place where they were discussing business, and I didn't have time to do it. And I said, "Can I call my colleague to do it?" They said, "Okay. I mean, will you give us guarantee this person to deliver?" I said, "Yeah." I called her, "Hey, Broski, where are you?" I said, "Flying tomorrow, I swear." He said, "No, man." I said, "No, flying. He will fly him, he will take the business and won't ask for anything." So this once, I picked up the phone and I said, "Hi, this is what I'm doing. Support me." And so across the board, there will not be a problem. That's why I said that me saying is Jim Iyke doesn't mean it's a beat on my chest like some gorilla. It's that I have cultivated relationship. I'm an investor in relationship.
Yeah.
My resources is my biggest assets is relationship. So there's rarely a corridor of power that I can walk through and ask for favors that will say no.
And you just get it instantly.
Yes, because I've built a relationship in selfless service. I have given a lot, hoping that the day I ask, you won't have any reason to tell me no.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That feisty side you have to yourself, we see in movies all this time. Is it a part of you? Is it who you are?
Exactly.
That is just how you are.
No, that's how I get things done. The feisty side is the negative side in films because that's the bully, that's the crazy person. I'm very deliberate about everything I do. I'm trained to be deliberate about everything I do.
It's strategically planned.
Yes, I've put in resources to make sure that I'm deliberate. When you walk into a room, there are two kinds of people: doers and non-doers. The doers understand immediately you walk into a room what you need done, and they will do it. If they don't know it, they will learn from you. They will make strategic steps to learn what is necessary and get it done. There are people that sit down and just wait for you to push them to do it. Those are the ones you need the faithfulness for.
Exactly.
Okay, because the first thing that will be understood before you walk into a room is that you won't tolerate nonsense. Everybody has to be on point. Because I'm not coming for mediocre. I don't suffer fools. I'm not coming to sit around and enjoy. It's not a popularity contest. It's not a therapy session. If you want therapy, I'll show you psychiatrists that will help you. The whole understanding of coming to work is like be on point because I am on point. There's nothing that I will ask of you. You know, like I'll give you an example. My team had a meeting after we finished um we finished this in Port Harcourt, and they said they want a break. I said, why? They said because we've been going back to back 5 a.m. waking up. I did 1 month PR. Okay, my friend behind the scene will tell you I did 1 month PR back to back, and I was waking up 5 a.m. and finishing 2 a.m. almost every day. As the team is breaking down, we're bringing new people to replace. And guess who is doing the work? It's me, not them. So at some point, they had a meeting and said, listen, we need 1 week break. I said, for what? You know, the point is that there's nothing I'm asking you guys to do. I'm not doing double. I'm about to go to Ghana to do something. From there, they just named Kumasi. I'm heading to Kumasi tomorrow. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. again. So do you have my drive? No. Do you have my passion? No. But I expect you to meet me halfway somewhere. Exactly. You understand? So when they had all that, and you know, I spoke to my dad later, and he was like, "Why are you grumpy?" And I said, "See what these boys are doing." He said, "Yeah, but not everybody shares your passion." You know, sometimes this is where I get it wrong. You see, I'm not a good follower, and that is a skill set I missed very drastically in my life. That I must quarter it. I must learn it properly. I've always been built, trained, positioned, projected to be a leader. It can work against you sometimes. Yeah. Because you have to be a better leader, you have to be a good follower. I'm learning it. My boys are teaching me, my mentors are teaching me, my friends are teaching me how sometimes to just slow down, understand that it's not everybody that can push it the way you can. So give some people some 30% mark at least to catch up. Exactly. And I think by and large, that's what life is for me. It's an evolution. You learn as you go. There's nothing like a perfect person.
Coming to Ghana for your movie premiere, you know, you had some expectations, and after the premiere, you know, I know it went well. Have your expectations been met?
My expectations are always met. If I walked into that venue and I see two people, my expectations have been met.
You're just okay.
Yes, because the way you think is different from the way I think. The way another person thinks is different from the way I think. My mark of success is not measured by the court of public opinion. It's not measured by another person's barometer. My opinion of success may not be measured by another person, but this is how I think. I've always thought that everything I do is geared to a certain end. Those two people that show up are the ones that will mean everything I want. Because I'll get in Abuja, I had over 1,000 people come to my premiere. We had 7 theaters shut down. We had 150 people that couldn't get seats. But of all of them, it was only 10 that paid for the entire thing.
Just 10.
10. 3 of them were business associates. One of them was a new partnership that I just formed called Boss Boss. And then the other 4 were people I'm going to do business with. Then the 10th person was my sister. Wow. And her husband. These 10 people are all the people I needed. So if nobody came to that basin, I could still achieve the height of success that I needed for backcoming with those 10. So your question is strategically, who are you pursuing? You can't be caught pursuing the crowd all the time. Those 10 people, 3 of them said, Jim, what can we do for you? I said, buy theaters. If you buy theaters, I can offer it to students and low-income earners for free. They said, no problem. How much is it? I said, 500,000. They gave me 1 million. So I bought 2 theaters. Boss Boss said, what do you want? The CEO of Boss Boss said, what do you want? I said, bro, I need a stretch Hummer. I need my entrance to be badass. I need 10 cars. Those 10 cars would have probably cost me about 5 million to build. They said, you have it. So Boss Boss. My brother-in-law said, listen, you took me out of a bank when I was slaving. You put me in a construction company that we both own and made me a multi-millionaire simply overnight. What can I do to support this part of your life? I said, okay, buy me a theater. He said, bros, say at the build. I said, buy me a theater. So he bought me half a theater. So the journey that I've traveled with those 10 culminated eventually to over 1,000 people that came there. So, but they were the source. So every time you're on a pursuit, who are your source? If 2 people came there, those 2, I didn't need a whole bunch of celebrities there. I just wanted 1 or 2. Of the 3 I called, I didn't call anybody. Of the 3 I called, 1 was out of town, 1 was flying in, but was late for his flight. 1 made it.
Just 1.
Shatta. I don't need 3. I don't need 20 celebs to control Ghana. I need 3. 1 Shatta, 1 of the other 2 I will not mention. End of story.
Right. Along the line, somewhere 2014, if I'm not mistaken, you ventured into politics. And an online newspaper, Gazette, made mention that you had to quit politics because you said you didn't want to sell your soul.
Yeah.
Take us through that journey.
I was going for deputy governor of my state. And it was already, I sat down with the right gentleman in a meeting. They said, we like your forthrightness, we like the fact that you're fearless, we like the fact you don't look at faces. Because I told everybody my thing there. And when I was done, they said, okay, the guy, first of all, now this is where the politics started. I was going for the governor of the state. They called me later and said, oh, you know what, Jim, we have somebody. Apparently, some multi-billionaire son woke up. As per se, my papa no get money now, So they woke up and said, oh, we want this guy to go, we want you to be the deputy. I said, why? Can I talk to him? And here was a guy sitting across the table, a complete dunce, that they wanted me. I mean, this guy was kind of retarded, as a matter of fact. And they wanted me to be his deputy.
Retarded
so
guy.
That he will boss over me every day and then we'll sit down, I'll be taking orders from me. Listen, if I have to obey you, you have to be intellectually superior to me. I have to learn something from you. I have to take orders from you and execute it because I know you're superior in every way. How would I be taking orders from a dunce? How's that going to work? So I sat down, I told him, sell you be my boss to me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care who you came from, who your father is, or where you came from. Convince me I can serve under you. And then I'll give you my soul.
Wow.
I don't care what listen, my loyalty is fierce. I don't care what anybody says about you. That's why I've had the same friends for 10 years, 8 years, and all that. Because through ups and downs, I'll stay with you. No matter what the public is saying, I will ride with you, fight for you outside. And inside, I'll tell you, guy, you mess up.
Yeah, I didn't try.
So convince me to be that advocate for you. No, and this dude was just telling me about the money they have stashed away, or what they were going to do, how many cars they were going to buy. I mean, I'm like, we all have money in this room. Does anybody look poor to you? So the only thing you can bring towards is your father's money. And I said I won't do it. And so the pressure came from left, right, and all kinds of stuff started being said. And at the end of the day, let me tell you, I even compromised. I said, okay, you know what? They said do one term. After one term, if we succeed, he'll step down, you go. So certain things were put in place to convince me that that's the order of the day. And I went with it. Then a strange thing happened where we've not won, oh my dear. We're not even sure we're going to win. They've decided the whole cabinet by the time we started running for election. Like, I knew my Secretary of State, my secretary, I knew my press guy, I knew the commissioner of finance. I'm like, where are you guys coming from? Am I not allowed to choose my own staff? Exactly. Am I not allowed to even understand what is going on? And it's just a lot going on. And I don't want to go into the other dark arts that's involved in it. And I said to myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find somebody I believe in and support them for this next dispensation. Then after that, I will get myself properly, prime myself properly to come out and run. Maybe in the next dispensation.
So you're going to go back to it?
There's no how I'm not going to. I'm going to do it because it's our privilege. It's what we need. Exactly. We need somebody that will put people in their places and get that state moving. We're tired of drunks and all kinds of people coming out there to do it. I say in their faces all the time. What is that? What are they going to do?
If you had like 3 people of you in Nigeria, I'm sure.
Things will start moving. A lot of people will exit that country and come and live in Ghana. They know it. Or Benin Republic for that matter.
All right. Along the line also you quitted, music, you quitted acting for music.
And that one for music.
You put it on hold.
I did.
You put it on hold.
I know it was an experiment.
An experiment. How did it go?
No, of course it didn't go well. I was the worst rapper in the world.
Worst?
I have to be. I was sitting down with, let me tell you, at some point in your life, you start to convince yourself you can do everything in this life. I just started one small business and it worked. Career back to back. I did this real estate thing, sold out.
Like
I just
woke up one day. Golden hands. Like
it was cut short in music.
Exactly. But music didn't go well.
Yeah. I was in the studio with Two-Face. We were planning a trip to New York to shoot this video, right?
Okay.
That was when he just did this video with Mary J. Blige. And South Sultan came in, some heavyweights came in and we're like, Jim, come on, man. Because every time I'm rapping, every time I'm trying to force songs out of people, they say, come, don't be every time you shut our ears with noise. Come and do it for real now. And, there were a whole bunch of boys. It was a dare. So I walked into the studio, the booth, and that's when I found that things weren't as easy as it seems. Anyway, we wrote the song that night. We walked from about 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Wrote 5 songs, recorded it. And all of a sudden, I thought I was a rapper. By morning, I convinced myself, let me tell you can tell yourself any kind of lie in this world, I believe it. My lie that I've never told myself after that was that I'm the baddest rapper ever. So when I came out and heard the song, I'm like, is that me? They say, yeah, man, it's you. I'm like, damn. I'm the next African Eminem, man. So we put it out. And what made it worse was I succeeded. So one of these marketers came, cut me big checks. All my friends were angry, like, we're musicians, we're not making this kind of money. How come? I said, I'm Jim Iyke. So I took the money. Now the problem was after that, somebody wrote a serious rap and said, okay, come and do this thing for real now. Let's really sell this part of you. Brother, I sweated for 2 hours in that booth. When I came out, I just told everybody, waka, all of you, I will never do this as long as I live. But I had fun. You see, I've never been afraid to laugh at myself. I don't take myself that seriously.
Okay.
One time, even I took two of my sisters and their friends when we were recording. They were laughing their heads off. I said, "Keep laughing. If I show you the checks I'm cutting from this scam, because that was the biggest scam I ever did."
You understand?
Yeah, but it was just for fun. But this is what I took away from it. I came to understand the business of music. I came to understand, obviously, my forte has always been business. Don't forget it's called show business. A lot of people are so fixated on the show. I understand the business. So I know that down the line, what has to be done is bring my business prowess to bear, create a proper label, sign some boys. I'm not the talent. I'm more like the PDD type. I will come to your videos, do the flash and everything, give you space to execute yourself, to sell yourself, just push you. So that's what we're going to do. It's just that our hands are full right now. Hopefully by next year
But
we'll
the
come
record
around to
label
it.
is still
Hell yeah.
going
On
on.
Team Records is still there. We still keep a small office in our building where some people still ask, "Hey, people existing." We say, "Man, my brother, not now."
You have artists signed on it?
No,
Not yet.
because I don't do things half measures. I got a couple of boys and later I said, "You know what? They can go." I was going to sign Techno.
Oh.
The week I was going to sign Techno, my impatience got the better of me. So apparently he was caught in this 9-year deal with some guy from Japan and his wife. The day I went to negotiate with them, they told me that they wanted me to pay a certain crazy amount and they wanted 30% of his catalog. So I'm like, this is outrageous. Why do you tie yourself? They signed that boy to a 6-year deal. So while he was in the office, my lawyers were trying to fix it. The deal wasn't looking like it was going to happen, and my first son was coming. So I just left them and went back to the US. I was in the US for 1 year. When I came back, they told me that the Franklin signed him. And obviously, the guy in question was offered some small money. And because he was kind of broke, that time, he took the money and left him alone, which was, I think, if I'd shown a little patience, you're probably an untamed artist by now.
Yeah. Looking at you, you're very multi-talented, because you have a little bit of manufacturing side, real estate and all that. Take us through, let's talk about your real estate a little bit before we go to the manufacturing. How has it been? How is it going now?
We decided very deliberately at some point that a lot of people don't know this part. I was always wondering. I'm business trained. I'm well.
Very business
Yes, I'm
oriented.
well educated in financial literacy, and not just classically. Streetwise.
Okay.
My mom was an avid business investor. I saw businesses fail in front of her, and I saw businesses succeed under her guidance and her patience and her sacrifices. So I understand the implicity of the entrepreneur, what it takes. So when I started, I was investing a lot. I never allowed too much leeway to stay with me, and every time it kept failing. I'm not a good gatekeeper.
Okay.
I'm an expert. I'm most, I'm very, very good at proponent of opening doors. I open doors, but how to man the door become a problem. So basically, I establish businesses. Then I bring people that are less passionate than me to man it, and then it fails. Yes. Because what I was doing then was I was so fixated on paper qualification. I wanted the people with the masters that speaks well, that dresses well, but those are the biggest scams out there. And we had to sit down and understand the pattern. My sisters and I at some point, like, why are these businesses failing? How come every time you set them up and you're handling them, it goes well? 2 years, 1 year, I had the biggest boutique in Abuja. I had the real estate thing going. We had a logistic company. We had also set up a manufacturing company for paint. We also set up a company that there's this app. It's called Oga Walk.
Okay.
It's an app, Oga Walk. It's basically for artisans. You find the closest artisans. It's like the Uber of work. Say if you want a carpenter, with our app, we'll find you the nearest locator of carpenters to you that you can order their services, pay to us. We in turn pay the artisans. Okay. So it was going well, very well. As a matter of fact, the Amnesty Ministry that time took it up on a 2-year contract. So everything was smooth, but it wasn't smooth. That it was always failing once there's a transfer or shift of power. So after a while, it was understood. Leave acting. Not part-time, shut down entirely. build this mini empire well so that they will complement each other. And that's why I took the 5 years hiatus. I recalled my sisters after they were all done with their maths because I was very deliberate about training my sisters. I made sure they were in different fields, different schools, different masters, different disciplines. So I told everybody, wherever you're working, I can offer you twice that. This is a family business. Everybody come and man something. 3 of my sisters work for me. So I brought everybody back. We started, took inventory of each of them. I set up a proper headquarters. I brought World Ventures. I brought World Ventures to Nigeria from DC, where we have 4 branches right now, travel agencies. It's called McCreer Travels. You can check us out. We do a lot of corporate. We don't do individual. We do corporate bookings a lot. My brother-in-law worked in Zenith Bank then. He was slaving back, and I said, "Hey, leave this thing. Come, let's form the construction company." So we formed and Dynamics together. Dynamic Construction. We're on our 3rd project right now. We just joined forces with the owner of IVM Motors. Okay, they own a substantial share in our company. We're about to launch our next phase. I own a logistic company as well. I co-own a boutique hotel in Port Harcourt. I co-own a lot of things. I'm an investor.
That's great. Finally, before I let you go, I mean, your ending words to your loved ones, your fans, people that love you regardless. Tell them something so we end this.
There's a reason why people find it so easy to dislike or misunderstand what they don't know. I've always made it the bane of my life existence not to be too well known. So the part you know, let it serve your understanding of me. I've never been fixed on earth to serve anybody's cause or opinion. The people that are close to me, I serve. And I serve with the greatest humility, strength of character, with the greatest integrity and sacrifice. They are the ones that mean the world to me. Yeah. Some of them include fans I haven't even met before. Wow. I serve them by this thing that I do, bringing out the best work there is every time I have to. I serve my friends by being there for them when they call upon me. I serve my sons and my family by being the best possible father and friend that I can be, being the best possible brother that I can be, or son to my father. So I think at the end of the day, it is how I'll be remembered in sands of time that's most important to me. The legacy that I leave behind, that hopefully when I demise at my eulogy, a small group of people, I don't expect a lot. We say that it was exceptional. I think at the end of the day, that's enough.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation. I'm glad and I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
I appreciate. Thank you for having me.
It was a nice one. Thank you. Right. The show has been brought to an end. Thank you so much for making time for watching these talks as you do for me always. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Keep supporting me, and we have big places to go. And I want to say a special thank you to my executive producer. Without you, this magic wouldn't have been possible. Thank you so much for making things work. And, I bless your soul, bless your kind heart, bless you always. My crew members, thank you. You hold me down always. Thanks for making the show a success. And if you missed any of our episodes, make sure you go on Lizmedia on YouTube. You can get everything that you missed. You can follow me on Instagram as well. I am Natural Liz, and other social media platforms as well. I will leave you with this. Keep in mind that a sense of beauty and just a little bit of luck is the key to success. If you don't understand, you can argue with your TV sets. I'm out of here. Bye.